This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by Monster products. The headphones on my head right now, the Monster DNAs, my normal headphones, the Monster Elements, and a variety of other headphones, including the all-new Monster AirLink Elements True Wireless earbuds, which I have seen, I have experienced. They are fantastic. But if you're not looking for headphones, maybe you're looking for speakers, they've got the S100 to the big S400, and of course the Monster Blaster, and all of the power and cables to connect those and all of your other devices are available at pilchpoint.live/monster. So, our favorite piece of the year came out this week.
Yep. So at Laptop Mag, every year for the last, I don't know, around 10 years, we've been doing the best and worst laptop brands. We look at the top 10, most popular brands, the ones that are coming out with the majority of the notebooks, and we do and we look and we grade them. They get grades like in school up to, from 0 to 100. And they get graded on 5 criteria: reviews, design. Now, reviews meaning how well their product scored on our reviews the previous 12 months. So that's a big factor, as it should be. Design, support and warranty, innovation, and value and selection. So we grade them to, see who's the best and who's the worst. And I want to preface this by saying the best brand has some clunker laptops, and the worst brand, one of the 2 brands that's tied for last place, is actually makes some really fantastic products, but has some weaknesses in support. So we're not saying don't buy something from a brand because it scored low, or do buy something from a brand just because it scored high. This is merely kind of a snapshot of how they're doing. So Lenovo is once again, for the second year in a row, number 1, because primarily on the strength of really strong reviews from really strong products, like the ThinkPad X1 Carbon and the Yoga 920, 2-in-1. They did really, they got 10 Editor's Choice Awards throughout the year, which is more than 3 more than their nearest competitor. And 53% of the laptops from Lenovo we reviewed, and we reviewed a lot of them, scored 4 stars or higher. So that's a good rating. So Lenovo is number 1. HP, by just 1 point less, in a nail biter, is number 2, and Dell is number 3. So and at the bottom of our list, MSI and Samsung are tied for 10th place. Now, that's really kind of unfair to MSI because they actually make some really great stuff. They did very poorly on the Tech Support Showdown. They had some real issues with their web support and their phone support. And that's a shame because they actually make some really good products. I mean, they've some really good gaming notebooks. They didn't get as many editor's choices as others, but they make some good stuff. I wouldn't discount them, but they're really hurt by their support. Samsung, on the other hand, which my colleague Sheree Smith has written an article about, she says Samsung should just stop making laptops, and I tend to agree. Samsung has been phoning it in on laptops for years. Their stuff is often more expensive and less attractive than competitors. I mean, their Chromebooks are okay, but any of their PC notebooks are 2-in-1s. They have good tech support though, but that only gets you so far. So, right. So they did not do very well. As I said, in the middle of the pack, we have Acer and Asus, Microsoft, Razer, and Apple, which is all the way down to seventh place. For the first several years we did this, Apple was always number one. Last year they were in fifth, and this year they've dropped to seventh. It's happened because Apple's just not innovating, and their laptops are stuck in a time warp, and every change that they've made to their laptops is less and less user friendly. So they took a keyboard that people were good at typing on, and they took the travel away to make it a little bit thinner. Their audience is creative professionals who need to plug in all kinds of devices, and they took the USB ports away. Professional video editors want to edit on Mac, but there are no 4K panels on Mac laptops. So there's just a lot of issues with Apple. It seems like their attention and their commitment is elsewhere, which is strange because they have plenty of money. They're a very successful company. They could do a lot more with their PC business if they wanted to. But I feel almost like they're kind of like, well, we're gonna make these changes to your laptop whether you like it or whether anyone likes it or not. And there definitely are diehards that will stay with Apple because they like Mac OS. They're used to it. But our ratings compare the brands. We don't give them props for having been good in the past. So
right.
So they continue to fall.
Like you said, snapshot in time.
Yes. Each of these brands could do things to move higher or fall lower in next year's ratings. Lenovo actually did better last year than this. Their support declined year over year. They did worse in our tech support showdown. Dell is like kind of a tale of two brands. One Dell is the Dell that makes the XPS line and the Alienwares, which are fantastic and get great scores. And then there's the other side of Dell that makes the Inspirons. I don't know if they're actually two divisions, but
right.
It's like when you look at the quality of the products, it's like they came from different companies because a lot of the Inspirons are just really weak entries. They have mediocre build quality, dim screens, poor keyboards, just a lot of issues with the Inspirons. There are a couple that are okay, but and several that we think are middling, like 3-star products, but it just seems like Dell is not putting the effort into its mainstream stuff. We're not talking about like the $300 notebooks here that you would expect to be, low end. We're talking about like, $600, $700, $800 laptops that are, that have stiffed keyboards and dim screens. Dude, the average laptop selling price is like $425. So if you have laptops that are $600-$700 and they're really subpar, like that's more than most people are willing to spend
already.
So we got to
plug.
They would really benefit from stepping up their game. If their Inspirons were like 25% as good as like the XPS, then they might be number one.
Plus, there's the bizarre scenario that interestingly fits more into Tom's hardware than Tom's guide, but Dell is known for having these super custom hardware components in their laptops that make maintaining the drivers difficult. When Microsoft puts out the update whenever it comes out in a couple of weeks, you can all but guarantee that especially the lower end Dells, when they get the update, their video drivers are going to have a problem. We've experienced it ourselves with our own hardware. We've watched some of our development computers that were Dells. Every time a new update comes out, the laptop starts to blue screen until Dell fixes the video driver.
So but nevertheless, they placed third because they have some fantastic stuff. I mean, the XPS 13 is
Mm-hmm.
our is laptop's favorite its favorite laptop overall. The Alienware 17 is our favorite gaming laptop overall. So there's some really high highs and low lows there. Um, you know, and HP has some really fantastic premium products and some okay mid-range products.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Lenovo, the same thing. I mean, although Lenovo does have some pretty good budget systems. Now, of course, the two companies, and I'll just close with this, that give you the most bang for your buck by far are Acer and Asus. If you're looking for an inexpensive system, Acer and Asus usually give you more for your money than anybody else. Like especially Acer. I mean, you can get an Acer. Now, mind you, this is not like a beautiful looking laptop, but you can get an Acer E15, their 15-inch plasticky laptop with a 1080p screen, a Core i5 8 Gen processor, a 256 gig SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, and NVIDIA MX 150 graphics for $600. And the screen, while not super bright, has like over 100% color gamut, so it's not a terrible screen. So, you know, it's not like other companies can't give you a lot for your money, or like Asus has their 403NA, which gives you like an aluminum, a beautiful aluminum chassis for like, $400.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's not like things have to be cheaply made if they're inexpensive.
Right. Yeah, that's an important thing to remember is that the aluminum one, that's the one that we had on the show a while back?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought so.
I also brought an Acer on, I believe, that was aluminum for the Acer Spin 1, which is $329. That's like one of the best deals in tech. Mind you, the processor is just like a Pentium, so don't expect great performance from it, but you're getting a 2-in-1 with a beautiful IPS display, really nice, like nicer than on $1,000 laptops. You're getting, a 2-in-1 with a pen, and it's all metal for $329. And actually, I think recently I saw that on sale for $299. So, that's good. On the other hand, it's unfortunately there's not a way to spend like another $200 on it and get like the good processor,
right?
And, a better storage. But I mean, it's just interesting that like companies can make things inexpensive, good stuff inexpensive if they want to. You may not get like the top components, but you can certainly get something that's well made.
Sure. My mom recently got a kind of 2-in-1, really inexpensive. It's not, high end, but nice little device. So, obviously, there's a lot more detail to this in the final write-up, right?
Oh, yes. So please check it out and go to laptopmag.com. You go to www.laptopmag.com. You'll find it on the homepage. We promote it heavily because it's our biggest story of the year. So come check it out.
And in addition to the breakdowns, the summary, there's an individual for each.
There's a report card for each of the 10 brands.
Yeah.
So you can see a detailed explanation of why Microsoft got 77 out of 100 or Asus got 81.
Very cool. Well, as you know, I love that you guys do this. It's a lot of information that consumers should have before they go buy.
Yes. That's our hope. So please check it out.
Well, I always appreciate you bringing the details of this, and obviously, as far as the Piltch point is concerned, we've got a little bit of time before the next episode, which works out because that'll give you a little bit of time to ease into Tom's Hardware and bring us an interesting story when we get back.
For sure.